Hello! Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Poshman. I am a second year architecture student at the University of Oregon, and it's a great time. I just woke up from a nap, maybe like 5-10 minutes ago, so this is gonna be fun. The energy is really... So this video is all about what are your being my Instagram followers and people that responded to my Instagram poll question thing assumptions about architecture school and architecture students, reviewed by an architecture student. So we've got our first lovely one. It's a lot of work. That's a good assumption. It is a lot of work. During studio, I spend a decent amount of time in studio. Like, roommates don't really see me when I'm in studio. It kind of sucks just a little bit, but you know, that's actually bad. Make sure to take care of yourself. You meet some really good people. Yeah, I've met some of my best friends in architecture. Are just such amazing people. Next assumption. We know how I'm obsessed that there are like real cliques. OMG. There are cliques. There's like little groups in architecture, and it's kind of funny because like some groups will talk shit about other groups and then other groups will talk shit about those groups. So you remember in like my previous video when I said architecture people are kinda toxic? Yeah, that's what I meant with their little cliques. But that's okay. You know, every major has their cliques, so I don't think it's that bad. Oh my god. The iconic assumption. It wasn't going to be that hard. Yeah, people said that a lot before coming into architecture school for me. They're like, oh, it's an art major. Oh, you're just gonna do drawings. You're fine. You don't even need like chemistry or bio. Like, it's not like you're becoming a doctor or anything. Honey! The amount of stress that architecture students feel, it goes like doctor, pre-med, or medical students. Then you've got architecture students, and then you've got everything else. So we're gonna stop with that whole lie about it's not gonna be hard, because it's so hard. It is hard, but it's fun. It's hard, but it's fun if you're committed. You know? It's like when you go on a run. Like, it's hard while you're running. It's difficult. But then the feeling afterwards and the benefits of it is so nice. And then you can, like, if you run outside, you could see, like, all the pretty clouds and all the pretty trees. And then maybe you, like, see another runner and then you're like, hey. And then they're like, no. You know what I mean? Had to have had some obsession with Greek mythology as a kid. I can't speak for everyone on this. So fellow architecture students, if you want to put it in the comments if you were obsessed with Greek mythology as a kid. But I definitely was. I was a hoe for the Percy Jackson series. I loved the Percy Jackson series with my whole heart. Also the Heroes of Olympus. Oh my god. That was a good series as well. Our next one is all-nighters, black turtlenecks, rendering for 2 hours. The all-nighters thing is very common. I will toot my own horn and say I've never pulled an all-nighter because Poshman needs sleep. Black turtlenecks, I was actually going to put on a black turtleneck this morning, but it's in the wash. All black outfits are very architecture-esque. And then rendering for 2 hours, actually, like, that's pretty good if you're just rendering for 2 hours. Like, usually renderings take upwards of like 4 to 5 hours depending on how many you're doing. I personally don't use digital. I don't like it. I know I'm gonna have to use it eventually, but I've kind of just been doing physical models and stuff. But architecture students work so hard. Also, that y'all are good with drawing things. I would say it depends, because a lot of architecture students like are good with the little sketches and stuff like that, but then when it comes to like big, massive, like, drawings and stuff. Like, we're no art students or whatever. Like, some of us are really good because you had to do it for, like, your portfolio and stuff. I would say, like, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not anything crazy. Like, I'm working on it. Like, I'm definitely working on it. It's a scale that I want to work on. But others are, like, insanely good at drawing. Like, there's this one girl, like, her perspectives, so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And then people, like, will pull out their Photoshop skills out of nowhere, and you're like, wow. Like, that's literally how I learned Photoshop, was from a friend who was, like, just a peer of mine. Her name is Natalie. She taught me how to use Photoshop. And I literally would not be where I am right now with my Photoshop skills without her. So, shout out, Natalie. This is, like, spot on the dot. I'm sorry I missed your texts. I was in studio. I have done that multiple times. One time I got in big trouble. So your studio class itself is 4 hours long, especially in person. Like, you don't have time to really go on your phone that much unless you're just not listening to the professor talk or listening to your GE talk. Like, there's times when I just have, like, my music playing and I'd have my phone, like, just sitting on my desk, and I put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I can't with notifications. It makes me, like my Snap and Instagram notifications are off. I would not check my phone as much. Like, a good majority of the people that I was really close with were in studio, so I literally didn't even have, like, there was no need for my phone. Like, I would just, like, set it on my desk and not look at it for, like, a few hours, because literally Lauren would sit next to me, Eric and Ryan were, like, 2 seats away, Christoph was right behind me, Yash and Drew, Justin was always in studio. Like, you literally just, everyone was there and nobody was anywhere else, and there was no real need for your phone. Then there were times when I would just, like, give my phone to Eric, and I'd be like, Eric, can you hang on to this? Because I need to get work done, and I can't work if I'm constantly scrolling through Instagram or on Snapchat. So I just leave it at his desk. One time I got in trouble, though, because my mom called, like, 20 times, and I didn't pick up, and she got really mad at me. So if that didn't happen, then I feel like, yeah, like, I have done that multiple times. Y'all are extra social butterflies because your classes are so time intensive and individual. I would say some of us are extra social butterflies, as you said, but some of us aren't really. It kind of just depends on the situation, because we do a decent amount of group work, but we're extra social butterflies when it comes to, like, our architecture groups of friends, because, like, we have things that we can relate on, and we're like, oh, 491's kicking your butt too? Man, geez, 491. You know what I mean? Like, you can relate on stuff like that. Just, like, have our head down, and we're working so much that, like, that's our one time to, like, just hang out with people and chill out. They're smart AF and good at math. Depends. Really depends. Fun fact, we don't have to take a math class. Have to take 2 physics classes that are kind of like Physics 201, Physics 202, where we use a decent amount of math, but a lot of the time we're given equations and we're given charts and we just plug it in. Like, AP Calc is more difficult than whatever math that we do here. Physics was a little bit hard. Once you got the hang of it, it kind of just, like, happened. But I would definitely say that it was not that bad. All pretentious and stuck up. They think they're the best. Yes, a tad bit. I would say that the people in architecture have a tendency to, like, since their work, they're creating, like, all of their work, it's like their baby almost, that it's the best. No matter what you say, like, that is the best. So then people who get critiqued harshly, self included, like, take it to heart. But then I've learned that you have to separate yourself from your work. So if you create something that's not great and you know it's not great, you cannot talk so highly of it. Because if you talk highly about it, then, like, and you hear other professors, like, just, like, completely shitting on it, it's just gonna take a hit right here, right at your heart. You get to bond more with your architecture classmates. Yes, because of the amount of time that you spend with architecture classmates. It also, the whole incestuous relationships within architecture happens. Literally, shout out Lindsay for that. That hit it right on the dot. But yeah, since you're around them so much, like, you don't really hang out with anyone else except for architecture unless someone comes and visits you, which doesn't happen that often, but Lindsay and Kayla and Adam, Itamar and Jewel would come visit me all the time in the studio, so Mad love. Next one is super hardworking people dedicated to the craft. I would say yes. With the amount of hours that we put in, I think a decent amount of us are like super hardworking people. Also, there's a lot of bullshitting in architecture. Like, you can get away with a lot if you just BS, especially when it comes to like talking about your work and like the meaning behind your work. You can definitely get away with a lot. Dedicated to the craft. Yeah, I would say so. I think a decent amount of us are dedicated to the craft. Okay, and I think this is the last one. You almost never get to have at least one personal project. Yeah. We don't really have a project that we work on that it's like, this is our project. Like, we love this project. Like, that happens with like projects that we work with in studio and stuff, that we just like really love the project. But we don't have a project where it's like, I want to work on this, unless you go out of your way to do it. I don't think so. Unless you're outside of architecture school, then you can like work on whatever projects you really want. Not that, but you get assigned projects. That's interesting, actually. I've never really heard that assumption, but personal projects, kind of like when film students have their like the never-ending film that they want to film or something like that. That's kind of like personal projects in architecture. It's like we have stuff in mind, but the time isn't there to get to them, which kind of sucks, actually. That was the last one. My foot has fallen asleep, so I think I'm gonna end this here for today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you've made it this far, comment down below. What's your major if you're in university? Or what major are you interested in if you're not in university? I send you hugs and kisses. Good luck with midterms, because it is midterm season. You know what videos you want to see from me in the future. And I will talk to y'all next week. Bye! This is what happens when Boschman has no roommates for like 6 hours! Ow. 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 Ah. 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 Take 2. I really hope I'm in focus, because that would suck if I wasn't in focus. Hello? Hi. Oh! I can't believe I just did that. My roommates don't really see. I just found my way on it. My foot is almost. Ow! My foot! Ah! Getting up is gonna be so difficult.